352 games, 352 predictions. The first round of the Texas High School football playoffs are here, and these are the picks. Welcome into the picks, your guide to the Texas High School football playoffs. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to the most wonderful time of the year. That's right, the Texas High School football playoffs are officially upon us, a 6-week sprint to AT&T Stadium in Arlington. 704 teams across the state will begin a journey that they hope ends in Arlington and the immortality that awaits them there. And we are at one of the great moments in the Texas high school football season. 352 win or go home games scattered across the state. It is the largest elimination round of any sport anywhere in the world. This is a special moment in Texas high school football. And with 352 games this weekend, I decided, hey, let's pick all 352 games. I'm either going to say it out loud or it's going to be scrolling on this side of the screen. If it's scrolling over here, I'm not going to say it. If I say it, it's not going to be scrolling over here, okay? I promise I'm going to pick all 352. I counted. There are massive games in this huge week of Texas high school football playoff action. We start in Houston. 7 o'clock Friday night at Wildcat Stadium in Angleton. It is a 5A Division I bi-district matchup between the Pflugerville Weiss Wolves and the Angleton Wildcats. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number one, regional warfare. This is one of the great things about the Texas high school football playoffs. You see, everyone during district play kind of goes to their corners of the state, right? And they play teams local to them. Well, now that the playoffs are around, we are getting a measuring stick of two different areas of the state going at it. Pflugerville Weiss from the greater Austin area making the trip to the greater Houston area to take on Angleton. And that is what makes this interesting. This is not just a referendum on these two teams, but it's also a referendum on the districts that they come from and how strong those districts are, how battle-tested these teams are. So, for the first time when Houston takes on Austin, when it matters the most, what happens? Key number two, Angleton's playmaking defense. There is no doubt where the Wildcats hang their hat. This team's defense is spectacular. They fly around with guys like Ryland Brown and Caden Edwards. They make big plays too. They've got 23 turnovers on the year, 25 sacks, more than 90 tackles for loss. It is no reason that this Angleton team is the number 8 scoring defense in all of 5A Division I. Their defense is what has led them to the playoffs and led them to this moment. Can they take them one step further? And key number three, a freshman. So let's talk about Pflugerville Weiss here for a moment. Vernon Hughes' Wolves had really high hopes entering this season, and for good reason. Part of it, they had a ton of playmakers, including their quarterback, Jax Brown. They were rolling into the season until the scrimmage, when Jax Brown suffered a season-ending injury. And really, around here, we were talking about, well, that stinks for Weiss. I guess we'll see you next year. Instead, the freshman quarterback, Jackson Schadt, has stepped up in a huge, huge way, completing more than 70% of his passes, 30 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions. He has gotten better as the season has gone on. Not to mention, he's got big-time weapons on the outside, like Adrian Wilson out wide. Now, he is still a freshman, and this is on the road in a playoff game against an elite defense. So, can this freshman, who has surprised us already, take his team even further? Who am I picking?
Hey.
I'm going with Pflugerville Weiss. I think the Wolves go on the road and get a playoff win thanks to their playmaking ability of Jackson Schadt and Adrian Wilson and the fact that they are battle-tested. This is a team that hung with A&M Consolidated, that hung with College Station, that beat Austin Anderson. This is a battle-tested squad. Now, if this Angleton team is going to win this ballgame, I think they're going to need to rely on their running game as well as that outstanding defense. Keep this score low. I do not think they want to get in a shootout with Pflugerville Weiss, but in the end, I think Weiss's firepower and their battle-tested nature is the difference. I think the Wolves move on to the area round. Let's talk a little six-man football. 7 o'clock Friday night at Wildcat Stadium in Santo. It is a 1A Division I bi-district matchup between the Gordon Longhorns and the May Tigers. This is a top 10 matchup in the first round of the playoffs. This is 10-0 Gordon against 9-1 May. Yeah, in the first round of the playoffs. Part of this is that only 2 teams from each district make the playoffs in 1A, and so you kind of get to the good stuff really quickly. But make no mistake, this is an outlier even by 6-man standards. This is one of the biggest first round matchups I can remember in a long time. May is here because they lost their Week 11 game to Jonesboro, but make no mistake, this team is ready for prime time. Guys like Braden Steele and Ben Harrell lead the way for this experienced Tigers ball club. But the problem is they're taking on what I think is the consensus favorite to win the 1A Division I state championship, the #1 team in the state, the undefeated defending state champion Gordon Longhorns, who have given up fewer than 40 points all season and have been absolutely relentless with guys like Rye Reed and Striker Reed leading the way. Make no mistake, a really good football team is going home this week. But I think that the defense for Gordon and that big game experience leads them to a win. I think the Longhorns move on to the area round. Let's go to Galveston County, 7 o'clock Friday night at Vitanza Stadium in Dickinson. It's a 6A Division I bi-district matchup between the Dickinson Gators and the Atascocita Eagles. So get this, Atascocita has wins over Westlake, wins over Katy, wins over Summer Creek. Their only loss on the year is a last-minute loss to Galena Park North Shore. And they're on the road in the first round of the playoffs against a very dangerous Dickinson team led by their running back Malachi Gamble. I mean, those are the margins at play here in Region 3. This is a good Dickinson team. Remember, they gave Katy everything they wanted in the season opener. That was at Vitanza Stadium as well. That is a notoriously difficult place to play. Atascocita, with players like Carday Mack at the quarterback spot and Torrey Blaylock at the running back, they are the favorite in this game, make no mistake. But they had better be ready right out of the shoot, because this Dickinson team, especially at home, is good enough to beat them. Atascocita is your favorite. I think they get a win, but keep an eye on this one. And let's go to DFW, 7 o'clock Friday night at Mustang Panther Stadium in Grapevine. It is a 5A Division II bi-district matchup between the Anna Coyotes and the Colleyville Heritage Panthers. Life begins in the playoffs for the defending 4A Division I state champion Anna, and I will tell you, they've got firepower to spare. Edward Chumley, Ziondre Williams, they are putting up more than 51 points per game. They are electrifying. The defense can be a bit of a trouble spot for them at times, and that is why I'm very interested in this ball game, because I think Colleyville Heritage can exploit that with quarterback Bodie Weaver and a stout rushing attack. Furthermore, they've got an outstanding playmaking defense led by Bryson Burgess in the secondary. They make big splash plays when you need them. This is a fascinating ball game, but I think Anna's firepower is just a little bit too much. Give me the Coyotes. But those are far from the only big games in the first round of the Texas High School Football Playoffs. Remember, I'm picking all 352 games. I'll either say it out loud or it's scrolling on this side of the screen. Let's get to the lightning round. In 6A Division I, I like Campbell over Prosper. Give me Bridgeland to take down Klein Oak. And San Antonio Brennan gets by San Antonio Reagan. 6A Division II now, I like Denton Geyer over McKinney, and give me Wiley East over Forney. San Antonio Sotomayor gets their first ever playoff win with a win over San Antonio Churchill, and give me Kingwood to take down Clear Springs. To 5A Division I we go. I like Richland over Fort Worth Arlington Heights. It's the Michael Quintero Bowl. Cedar Park head coach Michael Quintero coached at both Red Oak and Cedar Park. I like Red Oak over the Timberwolves, and give me New Braunfels over San Antonio John Jay. Amen. To 5A Division II we go. Montgomery edges out Marshall. I like Victoria West in a close one over Gregory Portland, and give me Brenham to take down Texas City. 4A Division I now, give me Canyon Randall over El Paso East Leda, and I like Chapel Hill in a very close one over Huffman Hargrave. Dallas Kimball squeaks by Aubrey, and talk about Texas high school football history. I like Corpus Christi Calallen over El Campo. 4A Division II now, give me Fort Worth Benbrook over Mineral Wells, and Van gets by Athens. I'm going with Robinson over Sealy, and Kingsville King takes down Rockport Fulton. 3A D1 we go. I like Comanche over Peaster, and Winsboro takes down Atlanta. Give me Yoakum over Troy, and San Diego beats Orange Grove. Big games in 3A D2. I like Jacksboro over Brady, and Childress squeaks by Slayton. I like Lexington over Rice Consolidated, and give me Woodville over ARP. 2A D1 now, I like Frankston over Italy, and Post stays perfect with a win over Spearman. I'm going with Centerville over Joaquin, and give me Marlin over Holland. 2A Division II now, give me Ira Ann over Seagraves, and I'm going with Miles to take down Lindsay. Tough one to call here, but I like Deweyville over Mount Enterprise, and Benbowl takes down Yorktown. And big doings in six-man football. In 1A Division II, I like Follett over Paducah and Oglesby over Blanket. And up in 1A Division I, give me Westbrook over Robert Lee. And those are the picks. I picked all 352 UIL Texas High School football playoff games this weekend. I either said it out loud or it's scrolling on this side of the screen. So now you can let me know gently, what am I wrong about? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com, where you can find complete coverage of the 2024 Texas High School football playoffs at texasfootball.com/playoffs. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the first round of the Texas High School football playoffs. We'll see you.